We all have questions, and Pastor Carney has answers. We all want to know what he thinks. There's important information to know. What are his thoughts? How did he get here? What's his favorite golf ball? It's time for 3 Questions with Pastor Carney.
In the movie Alice in Wonderland, Alice is met by, I think it's pronounced the Cheshire. How you pronounce it?
The Cheshire.
That's the one, yeah. What she just said there.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. It's a great scene. And she wants to go someplace. And the cat says, "Where do you want to go?" And she basically says, "I have no idea. I just want to go." And the cat says, "Well, at some point, you'll get there. Just keep walking, you'll get where we want to go." She had no idea where she wanted to go. And so I bounce off of that because so many people want to serve, but they're not quite sure where they want to serve or how they want to serve. And so they're just walking around aimlessly, and there's no direction in their life. And we have a direction, and our direction is to serve and to go forth and serve. And so I kind of took that of, I have no idea where I'm doing. And in Jeremiah 28:11, for I know that I have a plan for you, and God has a plan for us. And he gives us his GPS. That's in the sermon, so check it out. GPS. That stands for God's powerful spirit. And we have our direction, but so many people don't. So that's how I connected those two thoughts.
Well, he's good.
Yeah. Right, yeah, it took an early morning caffeine session to get me.
So when you say early morning, 3:55?
About that, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably about that time, yeah.
I've never seen the movie,
All right. So
I can't say anything on
My
that.
your favorite
favorite-
scene is going to be the one shown in church.
My favorite
Probably.
scene from the Patriot is where they're at the big party in Britain or wherever they're at, and the Americans are out on the water, and they have taken some of the clothing from the Britons, and they're dressed up like the British, and they just come in and they totally fool the British and end up getting their own people out, and it's just awesome. And then they blow it up with fireworks and stuff, and the lady goes, "Woo!" It's just a funny scene. It's a lighter scene from the movie.
You mentioned the funny scenes. Yeah. You know, I find humor in everything because that's what I am, who I am, even Scripture. And I'd have to bounce off what you said about being funny and whatnot, and Billy's question. And the two scenes, the one is where Mel Gibson's character tells the guy, "Well, look out your window, look up the hill." And these men are lined up, but it's actually scarecrows.
Yes.
But you know,
is that what? Okay, that's the scene I was going for.
Yeah.
Whatever it was leaving my mind. But where they trick them. That's the scene I love.
Yeah. And the other scene, I just love this other scene. I'm not sure the characters' names, but I think they're coming out of church. And either she gave him or someone gave them tea, I think it was, that made their teeth black or something.
It is the father of, so...
The guy that has his thing in his ear.
Heath Ledger's character, he goes and he has a woman, a young lady that he's interested in. Right. The father of that young lady gives them tea, I believe.
It was tea.
And they kiss, and then they both end up. And so the father sees that he's been kissing his daughter.
But they sewed him up in the sack.
They sew him in the sack, yeah.
So I love the humor scenes in that.
That's right.
But
I'd have to go with my favorite scenes in there is when Mel Gibson's character struggles with the decision his son has made to serve in the Continental Army.
Oh yeah.
So he follows his example, and he's not too happy with that. But
it's a very important question, which has received a lot of discussion. So one of the good things that these two decisions has done is people are talking about these issues. The downside that if you haven't already, check out Phil's Facebook site. You can search him out, Phil Kuhn. He has a marvelous soliloquy, narration, or whatever on this topic. Yes, it's got people talking, but sometimes there's a lot of name throwing, a lot of "you're wrong, I'm right." And that's not the good that comes out of it. The good is the discussion. And the good is an opportunity for us as Christians to share what we believe, teach, and confess about both issues, both questions. And one of the things that I want to bring out, and I'll go into it further at maybe a Bible study in the future, is that as Lutheran Christians, as LCMS Christians, our belief is that we believe that abortion is biblically wrong. It's against God's will for our lives as Christians. But there is room in that sentence that when the life of the mother is in danger or in peril, then that is a special situation that arises. We have to make a decision between mother and child. And we don't consider that abortion because we always want to save the life of the mother. And I'll go more into that. I know it's not a lot to go into now, but I'll go more into that in the Bible study sometime. But abortion is biblically incorrect. That the life of the unborn is so vital because the prophet Isaiah, as you know, Billy, said we need to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. And these kids right now cannot speak for themselves, so it's up to us to speak for them. But I want to circle back before I get into prayer. The discussion is great. Keep discussing this. Debate it, but do it friendly. Talk about it. Share your faith. Don't be afraid to share your faith. If you have questions, don't try to give an answer or make up an answer. Say, I don't know. But you know what? I'll ask my pastor or I'll ask my youth leader and then get your answer and then go back and finish up your discussions. But please keep discussing this because what do they say? The battle is won, but the war is not, or vice versa. Because now each state, I believe, has the opportunity to say yay or nay. So it's still an ongoing battle. So keep discussing, but please keep it friendly, keep it respectful, and remember what God says, that life is important from conception to grave. Yeah.
And if I may, don't forget the second half of a discussion.
Yes.
The first half is the talking, the second half is the listening, and both sides
That's
have
right.
to do
Listening on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, because you'll hear a lot of words, and what you'll also hear are a lot of feelings. Because sometimes the words come out and the feelings are hidden. And what I do all the time is, if you've noticed probably now in this past 9, 10, 12 months that I've been, when someone asks me a question, I kind of go, and I think, or if someone says something, my mind instantly goes to, I wonder what's behind that question. I wonder what's behind that feeling, and get to the heart of the matter. So as I always say, listen with your heart.
And also, listen for the devil's whispers.
That's right.
Because the devil's going to try to find an area of this topic or conversation to not only make you upset, but also the person you're talking to upset, because he wants us going like this.
Yeah.
And so he's going to do everything he can to make us go like this when we should be coming together.
right.
And again, I think it's all about respect, really.
Sure.
I talk about in my video, again, that you can check out my Facebook page. We have to hear each other because we all come from different circumstances. There's nothing wrong with us as Christians saying, this is how I feel and this is what I believe, this is what God tells me, therefore how can I go against what God tells me? But then also having the empathy to be able to sit down with somebody and hear their story.
Again, Isaiah said, come, let us reason together, says the Lord.
Yeah.
And we just need to be in prayer about it. And speaking of prayer, and again, I don't want to cut off the conversation with this, and if we can, maybe in the future, we can have a Bible study dedicated to that or something, or maybe a sermon or two on that. And if I can speak, sorry. If that's something you're interested in, please email me, text me, call me, let me know on Sunday
Leave a
mornings.
comment on this video.
On the video. Let me know, hey, Pastor, dive into this more type of thing. I did hand out the, actually Brooke handed it out on Sundays, a couple of Sundays ago. It's what the Missouri Synod, President Harrison wrote a letter to the congregations and the pastors and the laity of what we believe, teach, and confess. And it's a great article. You can find that on lcms.org. Go under all the right to life stuff, and you'll find President Matthew Harrison's response to the Supreme Court decision. Again, lcms.org, and check it out. The second question, Billy, was prayer. And very big with me, prayer is always important. And, when that case first came up, it struck me because of sports. number one. But then the secondly, because of prayer. And I'm thinking, how can they tell some coach that he can't go out in prayer? And I've heard people say, well, you can't pray in school, you can't. And back in the fall, I think it was, one of our youths, Brooke, asked me to join her at, was it Whitco? What's it called? Whitco. Yeah, and I opened up with prayer. And so I prayed in a high school or the career center, and it was awesome. And so it was neat to see that decision was in favor of the coach. And I've seen a number of coaches and players. How many times, I know it's professional, Billy, but how many times do you see after a football game, them kneeling at midfield? Both teams, after they spent how many minutes of beating each other up in prayer. How many times, and it's sad, but how many times do you see a foul ball in a baseball game, go in the crowd and hit somebody? And both teams come together in prayer. They put the game aside and they come together in prayer. And I know it's pro and not high school, but it's just a positive thing when it comes to prayer. And I don't think you can tell someone they can't pray. I don't know how many times. Rachel's been kind of quiet standing here, so I'm going to drag her back in the conversation. Rachel, how many times on the starting block, but she's a professional swimmer. She's a swimmer. How many times before the race you just close your eyes and say a quick prayer to God, especially to make sure that shoulder does what it should be doing?
Every time.
Yeah. So, see, you can pray anytime.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if you've got questions that you'd like to have answered by Pastor, please make sure that you email us, send us a text, put it in the comment below, and we'll make sure to get your question answered. We'll see you next time. Three questions with Pastor Carney.
God bless you. Have a great day.
Thanks again for joining us. If you have any questions about Redeemer, have a topic or interview suggestion, or need to know anything about the church, you can contact the church office at churchoffice@redeemerwarsaw.org, Pastor Carney at pastor_Carney at redeemerwarsaw.org, Phil at phil.prevail@gmail.com, or Billy at rlc_it@redeemerwarsaw.org. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and please join us again next week. And until then, may the Lord be with your spirit, and grace be with you.